Nya, and today, yeah, I got a new ring light. I already know. Hold on, let me just show y'all how I do look. There you go, this color, and white. But today I'm just gonna be using this color because I like it. So today, as you can tell from the title, I'm gonna be watching this scary story, I guess, from an animated short. That's what we're gonna be doing. So I don't want to waste too much time on the intro because sometimes I don't feel like editing all that. So let's go. Okay, let's just go for it. Okay.
I used to work at one company for about a year before I entered the company I'm working at currently. Time I was living alone with my wife. Although we both liked kids, we weren't ready yet. Anyway, it was one night and I was heading home being drunk as usual after finishing a get-together. Passing through the front door of the apartment, I pressed the button to get on the elevator, and the elevator that was stopped on the third basement level began to climb slowly. Finally,
y'all got 82 floors?
And I felt cold as soon as I walked inside. It was almost 12 o'clock and my body was getting hot by the effects of alcohol, but I could definitely feel chilly inside the elevator. Well, I guess it's because the elevator stayed deep underground for a while, I thought, and then pressed the 16th floor button where I live. The elevator started moving slowly. However, it suddenly stopped on the 5th floor. Normally, the people in my apartment didn't take the elevator very often at the time, so I was standing in the middle of the elevator. As soon as the door opened, I stepped aside. But no one was standing there. I thought someone who was impatient must have pressed the button and then just went up to the emergency exit stairs. So I pressed the close button.
You rationalize too many things, bruh.
And there's no one there either. When the elevator stopped on the 7th floor, I suddenly got angry. Hey, stop! I stuck my head out the door and shouted.
Stop!
But I didn't feel any human presence.
And the ghost is gonna be like, got you, I'll stop right now.
Over me. But still, I thought it was someone's prank. The elevator then stopped again on the 8th floor while going up. But this time, there was a little girl standing in front of the door. She seemed like she was about 6 or 7 years old. But you know what was a strange thing about her? Despite the late hours, there was no one around her. Like parents, you know, someone like that. But this kid just stood there still, without getting on. Hey kid, are you gonna get in? I asked. But she didn't answer. As soon as I felt chills,
you should know better.
I soon pressed the
You should know better than that. That's a ghost girl.
Just as the door was closing halfway through, she pressed the open button again. The short kid standing on tiptoes opened the elevator door, so I told her again to get inside. However, she still stood there without answering.
Look at her skin. What color even is that? If you have an ombre of skin, you don't exist. Like, you're irrelevant. What?
Then the girl staring at me slowly opened her mouth. I'll get in when my mom comes, she answered in a small voice. But I couldn't see any shadow of people no matter how much I looked around. But somehow her voice seemed really dark and creepy. It wasn't a childlike voice at all. I pressed the close button again roughly, and fortunately the kid didn't press the open button this time. The elevator started going up again and didn't stop on the next floor. With a sigh of relief, I just wanted to get off and get home as soon as possible. It was at that very moment. I was on the 11th floor and the lights suddenly started blinking.
Why would he get back on the elevator after that?
Something was strange with it.
Like, I would have just got off at that point and just started running. Like, what are you doing?
Black ink. And to my surprise, it was getting bigger and bigger every time.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm sorry. I have no faith left.
It can't be.
There's no hope for you.
I'm imagining because I drank too much. I kept repeating it inside, but the stains grew bigger and bigger.
How are you still alive to tell this story today?
It was still chilly inside the elevator. And the moment I looked at the light and then looked straight front this time, I couldn't help but doubt my eyes. There, I could see a person's hand reflected on my back. Seriously? I was the only one in this elevator. After having confidence that there's an unknown thing that exists here, I was seized with extreme fear. The time to go up to the 16th floor was like an eternity. I couldn't hold my fear back.
Okay, let me stop.
I eventually pressed the button to get off the 14th floor. I was about to pop out as soon as the door opened, but I had to stop suddenly. The girl I saw on the 8th floor was standing there, like she was waiting for me. I felt like my heart was sinking, shivering. Just as I was about to get off, she raised her head slowly. At that moment, I saw it. Unlike before, she was smiling brightly.
What?
Her mouth was going to be ripped soon. My mom is here now. I'm going to get in.
What is that face?
I'm sure the elevator was empty from the basement floor. Besides, not even a small rat was to be seen, let alone a human while I was inside. Then, who is it? I was strained to the limit, and my legs were trembling. I almost pushed the child and ran out of the elevator to the emergency
why is she smiling like that? That's
never see my wife again.
It's creepy.
I was going up the stairs frantically. Just then, the sensor at the emergency exit started turning on much faster than my speed. It's like someone was already going up. I was about to go insane. When I finally reached the 16th floor, I flung the emergency door open and rushed out of it. I turned. I tried to run toward my house, and then someone was standing in front of the house. The woman with incredibly long hair and the girl I saw at the elevator. They were there. How the heck did they know my house? I didn't know what was going on right now, but only one thing came to my mind for a moment. I must not go back home now. I barely managed to turn back and carefully twisted the emergency door again. And at that moment, my sweaty hand just slipped and the door clanked in the quiet hallway.
It's always
the moment I looked into the hallway with a desire to cry, I suddenly heard a sound from the end of the hall. It was the sound of a woman's shoes and baby shoes. I pushed the emergency exit door. While I ran frantically downstairs, I could hear the shoe sounds behind me at regular intervals. Almost rolling over myself, I went down to the front door and then rushed into the lighted security office. However, the security guard was just patrolling his round at that time, so he was not there. I lifted my trembling body and looked at the front door through the small window in the front. And at that moment,
dead, dude. Why are you still trying?
A woman and a child didn't come out of the front door, but they were glaring at me fiercely.
What is these animations?
But just then, the guard came into the office. He got surprised to see me trembling and asked me what was going on.
So he didn't just see him. So he didn't just see the ghost behind him, basically, right? So you walked up behind him and ain't see the ghost? I'm like so confused on how he didn't see them just glaring. But okay.
I tried to explain by pointing my hand at the front door, but then I realized.
By the way, I had to stop it because it was an ad.
Eventually.
Yo, what is going on with my iPad? And I'm sorry, I gotta fix my stuff. Okay.
I tried to explain by pointing my hand at the front door, but then I realized that there was no one. Eventually, the security guard came to my house with me.
My iPad was acting up.
My wife, who thought she was asleep already, was waiting for me with the lights on. And what my wife told me was a surprise itself. She said that someone rang our doorbell when I was seeing the woman and kid in front of my house. My wife thought it was me out there, so she walked to the front door to open it. But then she felt something wasn't right, because whenever I came home late at night after dinner, I always acted more carefully instead of ringing the bell. So my wife turned on the intercom and looked out, but there was no one. And when she returned to her seat, the bell rang again, and the same situation repeated, on and on. So this time she was looking closely at the screen when the moment the bell rang.
See,
she's
she's smart. She's smart.
There was the face of the woman who filled the screen to the full.
Ooh, she
At first,
ugly.
It's like someone was sticking her face on the screen intentionally. But when my wife looked closely, her face looked so pale, as if it were dead already.
That ain't pale, that's blue.
She urgently
You just
turned
blue
on
at
the
this
light
point.
right away and tried to call the administration.
I'm checked.
However, the guard didn't answer.
Who's that?
Just on patrol and at that time. And I was running downstairs like crazy. When my wife saw the intercom screen again, it was already gone. The next day's morning, I went to the security office to check the elevator CCTV, but I couldn't keep my mouth closed.
Oh, that hurted.
On CCTV, I could see that I was waiting.
I just
for the
scratched a
elevator
bump
on
on
the
my
first
head. Oh, that hurted.
Inside,
Oh, y'all don't know that
Yeah,
feeling when you
first.
scratch a
However,
bump on
I
accident and you
suddenly
don't know it's
started to
there.
press the buttons from
Oh, my
8th
my
floor
teeth
to
look
see if
so
they were
white.
possessed by something. There was literally
Let's see, who
no
been
one
taking
on the
care of their
7th
teeth?
floor.
Me.
But I screamed into the air, and when the door opened on the 8th floor, I murmured something and then pressed the door's button to open. I pointed at
Okay,
the
let me stop.
CCTV and said something, and then finally pressed the close button. Furthermore, I was gazing on the elevator lights for a while. Then I suddenly pressed the button on the 14th floor and ran out. So, that means I was doing something really weird by myself. The CCTV on the front door also captured only
This
me.
what you get for being drunk.
No
Like,
one came out. The guard laughed at me and my wife, saying that we saw imaginary things. But the feelings I felt at that moment were so real. It was so vivid. Who the heck were that woman and the child?
he was
Still,
drunk. That was hallucinations.
It was like a giant
Why?
skeleton with white skin. Its legs and arms were so long.
I'll just simply cut it out. Okay. Alright guys, that concludes the video for today. I don't know. It was interesting. I just thought I should try something different because, I mean, I never did animations before, so yeah, I decided to do it. If this video doesn't do well, I'll never do it again. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment and let me know what my next video should be about. Link is in description for the video. Bye. I've been the best. You like to stress, I could care less. You speak on my name, don't know the game, you talk at your neck. Never